Okay, so today is the day that I will break my silence. I have been so silent regarding my planners. I'm so sorry guys for having been gone this long. Just to give you an explanation, which I'm not sure if you guys want it, I wanted to test out my current setup, my current setup for 2023 without the pressure of having to follow suit with what I originally planned. Because although I did already have plans for each of these. Oh wait, I'm missing one. I said I had 4. Ta-da! Okay, this is my day free. So I wanted to, although I did have plans for each of these, like the mega will be my work, EDC, everyday carry. The Aurora Duty will be for highlights of my life with my significant other, because this is actually a gift from him. So whether or not we would see each other in a day, I would write something about our relationship, how we've progressed, our obstacles, challenges, etc. For my take a note A5, the plan for this was for a memory keeping sort of planner. So it's supposed to have lots of photos, ephemera, and everything else. Okay, let me just respond to this quick chat. So, and of course, my day free was meant to keep track of all my unusual or large expenses. So far, I haven't had any sort of expense. It's mostly been food, transportation, bills, of course. For this first week, although we're already in half of the second week now, so I haven't had much use for this one for the day free. I think I will start spending around maybe March, or moving into the second quarter of the year, as I've been what do you call this, trying to be more disciplined in my spending and in making use of my finances. I wanted to be more strict in following the budgets that I've set for myself for certain things. So this day free hasn't had much interaction with me this first part of 2023. So let me just set that aside, because you're not going to see much in there anyway. All right, so let's focus on these. So I have been very, very actively using this one, my Aurora Duty, because I have decorations on there already. I've been using this not just for listing down our relationship experiences, learnings, challenges, etc., but I've also been using this to record cash flow inwards. cash inflow. My gosh. Like all the money that comes in, whether in the form of my salary, interest from my investments, bonuses, I list them here. And the idea is, I wrote it down here, gratefulness by seeing how quantitatively blessed I am, because let's admit it, those who say that money can't buy happiness are privileged people. So yeah, money does buy happiness because it can afford you the basic necessities in life. So moving forward, I actually tried to use the monthly page initially to record birthdays and some events that I had to keep track of or take note of, but afterwards I started using it to list out certain Bible passages that I want to do a daily reading on. So I follow this website. It's called lovegodgreatly.com. It's a group of women who basically do the work of God, missionary work, they translate, these women come from all over the world, by the way, and they translate the Bible in the different languages, their mother tongues, so that more women have access to the Bible and to God's word. So basically that's what I've been trying to do here, but I haven't been able to fully immerse myself in it or to fully follow through with it, because again, we're still starting off with January. Haha. So there's not much else in here except for the birthdays that I wrote down before. So I'm still thinking if I will continue that, because I might need my monthlies on this one to track personal tasks. Because if you can recall, this is for my work, strictly for work and some finances. This is for my relationship, and this is for memory keeping. But I forgot to indicate where my personal to-dos, such as paying of bills and reminders to myself, I don't know where to put them. And I just came across that realization after testing out my whole setup, which is why we're here today, which is why I have to confess that I haven't been strictly abiding by my original plans for 2023. But the good news is that's how planners work. That's how you're supposed to use your planners. They're supposed to be flexible and adaptable to how you're living your life. So despite me saying that, oh, this will just be for my relationship, yada yada, it doesn't have to strictly follow that, because as we go through every day, each month, each week that passes us by, we have shifts or changes in our needs, in our requirements, in the way that a planner should be able to support us and how we live our lives. And as much as possible, I want my planners to help me be an efficient individual, not just for work, but also for my personal life. Hence, I've made quite a number of changes to my original plan. So if you guys watched my previous video on my setup explaining what each planner will be for, yeah, you guys can use that as reference just for how much I've changed since, yeah, I know, for the past 2 weeks, because I actually started using this Aurora Duty since December. I'm not going to show you guys much of what I've written on here, because these are actually really, really personal stuff. But as you can see, I started in December, and it was all very like personal information and stuff. And that particular part of this planner will stay. Okay, that the main idea for this planner will stay, because it is a gift from my partner. But the note section, instead of being a memory keeping, will be focused on finances, trackers, a little Bible reading, and some more trackers. Basically, everything is now becoming a hybrid, because yeah, on the yearly index, I'm tracking finances. On the monthly, I will be using this for personal stuff. On the weekly, I will be keeping track of my relationship with my partner and how we grow. And on the note section, I will be tracking a variety of things, including finances and even Bible reading. So as you can see, this is a total hybrid, but no to-dos, no personal to-dos, and no work on this one. Those are the things that I'm maintaining that are non-negotiables. I should not put anything about work here. This should focus on my relationship with my partner, and it's supposed to help me for my personal life. Okay, so that's the use of the Aurora Duty for me. So let's just set that aside. Now for the week's mega, I'm actually really excited to share this with you guys, because I did not expect to want to adjust this. I was so certain that my work would be like absolutely hectic this first month, but it's not so much. It's like everyone is still transitioning to the new year, you know, plans are still being laid out, we've been talking about arrangements and discussing our moving forwards and stuff, but nothing too grand yet per se. So I was able to actually consider making this a semi-hybrid while still focusing on work. So again, nothing personal is listed here. Nothing personal is listed here, but I am still considering that because technically personal but important stuff are paying the bills. But I'm still, again, thinking about it because I might end up using the monthly section on my Aurora Duty specifically for the personal to-dos. But for now, I've maintained the use of my, so I have a bit of decoration here, some stickers, and I really like the just the shapes, the basic shapes as stickers for this one, because I don't want any sticker that pops out too much or any particular decoration that takes away from the content of this planner. By the way, this memo pad is also from Hobonichi, so it's a set of 3, and I use this one specifically to track my credit card expenses. Okay, so my my yearly index for this particular week's mega is used again as last year for my work attendance tracker, as well as to keep track of my vacation leaves, sick leaves, and other special leaves. Also holidays, if any, and work from home periods, because for my particular agency, we will only be having alternative work arrangements until June. So from July to December, we're anticipating we will be fully on site. Sad. I really don't understand why people are still insisting on a fully on site work arrangement. Honestly, it's like these people haven't learned a thing or two from the pandemic. But that's just my personal view. Of course, it's not my view as a member of my agency. Yeah, but that's something I feel strongly about, because a lot of offices, agencies, companies are actually flourishing more by allowing a full work from home setup, because they don't have to spend on electricity, water bills, yada yada, with people being in their own homes and still being able to meet requirements and deadlines. I just really feel like it's so backwards to insist on a full on-site kind of arrangement. But that's just me, of course. And if you can see here, I even added a short quote on top of this page. It may be hard, but just show up and do what you can. Consistency over intensity, steady growth. So that's just a reminder to myself, because sometimes I do have a lack of motivation to go to work because I feel like my work or what I do, my contributions are of less value than others. Yeah, that's something I struggle with, and I hope if you guys struggle with that too, maybe this can help you, because it's nice to see all the check marks. You know, if you do go to work, it's nice to see all that progressing through the course of the year. And that's actually pushed me to, just get up, go to work. Yeah, might help you guys too. But moving on, so I have my monthly view, and this one again focuses on my work. So I put in deadlines here, events that we have to take note of. I actually put a small portion here just to track my bills for the month. Again, this is so weird to me because it's technically personal, but I placed it here. And I feel like I had to, because this is my EDC. So as an everyday carry, I have to be able to see, have I paid for this or something, or I have to be ready at any point when, for example, my mom checks up on me, if have you paid for your electricity bill, etc., etc. So it's easier for me to have it with me all the time, my bills records, my finances, and everything. And this is what I carry every day at work. There would be days I would opt not to bring these two because these are more on the personal side. I would not want anybody to touch these and read through them without my express permission because they are just that personal to me. So hence me in including this here. But otherwise, my monthly section is focusing on all my monthly priorities or my monthly deliverables, things that I have to remember, that I need to work on, because we do have quite a lot happening in the office, and we have a lot of responsibilities, of course. So I just have to write it all down because I do have a tendency to forget. I'm not sure if I have a memory problem or whatnot, but this helps. When I look over this, I realize, holy, I haven't done any work on this particular project or that particular project, or I have to review this, blah, blah, blah. So that's basically part of my work. And I think I will maintain that for the rest of the monthly section. I will not put in any birthdays here, any anniversaries or whatnot. It will be purely for work. So moving on to the weekly spread. It's the same. Oh my gosh, I put a decoration. No, but it's fine. This was really empty prior to this sticker. I mean, to this washi tape. So basically, the idea is I broke this side down into 2 columns. Work priorities on this side, events on this. If you can notice, I indicated a reference here, reference page, because this section connects directly to my notes. Why? Because on the notes section, I place here a bullet journal of sorts detailing all my tasks on the daily. All right, so there is not enough room on this page, on this box, for all my to-dos listed on these, on this page rather. Okay, so the idea is basically to always reference which page I'm on and which dates it encompasses. Okay, so I will be updating this, but basically January 4, 5, and 6 are all on page 3 of my notes, hence indicating reference page 3. So it's sort of me connecting the use of my weekly section to the note section. And I think this is going to be very efficient for me because I know what priorities I have listed, but on this part, it will actually list the specific tasks that I need to do in line with that work priority. So I think so far it's worked great for me on the first week of January. So I hope to continue that. The bullet journaling system on the note section has actually been a tried and tested method for me since I used it back in 2021 when I also had a week's mega. So since it worked swimmingly for me, I wanted to make use of it for this work EDC. Now for the events, again, focuses on work. So my work from home schedules are here. Any meetings, assemblies at the office are here. And on this portion, I indicated a self-care column, but technically I'm only tracking my sleep. I have a very sporadic, insane sleep pattern. Sometimes it's really good. More often than not, it's broken. Like I wake up so many times in the middle of the night. It's not fun, but I do have to track it nonetheless. And on this portion, I have my overall expenses. So I want to do this thing where I have all my expenses in one place. So I have my spendable allowance for an entire month listed here, some gas fund, grocery fund. And per day, I make sure to list whether I spent or not. So if I spent more than one in a day, I will put a vertical line just to indicate that there was more than one spending. Otherwise, it's just a single dot. And if there were no spending, I would put a horizontal line on this area, on the second area. And if you'll notice, I indicate 1S, 2M. So this is basically January 1, Sunday, January 2, Monday, so on and so forth. So I think it's easier for me to keep track of the dates and the days with this one. And basically fund locations, just where my funds are. because I have a breakdown of my salary. 10% go to tithes. I have some for essentials, etc., for savings, and for my insurance policies. So I have to make sure that everything is written down, as well as their locations. So I know that if I need to pay for something, then I can use this particular debit card, or I will use that particular credit card, etc. Okay, so I believe I will consistently use that for the rest of the month. And I'm also adding, since I'm only tracking sleep for the self-care portion, I'm also adding a this week thing where I list down basically uncertain possibilities. Like when we have plans, for example, in the office that next week we will do this, we will conduct this, but it's not final yet, I will list them here, just so I don't have a lot of cross marks here, canceling out certain events. I'm not very happy with that. Okay, so just to give you an idea how I move forward with the finances part. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold this morning. It's so bad. Okay, so after, basically the daily overall expenses are being tracked on a weekly basis, so you'll just see an entire week's worth on this particular part. So it's not going to consume it. I swear I will not spend so much that it would consume the entire page. So the rest of this page will likely be some sort of, I don't know, a task overview, or maybe some reminders for the following week. That might help me. And as you can see, for the rest of January, I've already set it up, the finance part and the sleeping tracker. But for this particular page, on the last day of January, I will indicate the total salary that I got for the entire month. And this will be used for my February spending. So basically, all the balance indicated here is coming from the previous month's salary. So that's my idea, so I don't have to track every time I get my income. So for those of you who are unaware, I actually get my salary on a weekly basis, so 4 times a month. And basically what I plan to do is, to list it every last day of the month. So when we get our last pay, I just get the total, and then I start dividing it across the board for all the expenses that I need to pay for, and whatever is left, that's my allowance. So that goes up here, the balance, and I'll continue with this particular setup. And this is actually what I'm really excited about, because it gives me an idea where my money goes, which days I usually spend on. Like if I spend more on the weekdays, then that means I eat a lot when I'm at work. So that's done and done. And again, with my bullet journal, so the entirety of these 215, I think, these 200 pages will solely be for my bullet journaling. And this will hold all of my tasks, all of my to-dos for work. I have an index page on pages 1 and 2, just so I can keep track of, where everything is. So on which daily, on which month are we in, etc. And I think this will greatly help me, at least when I have to remind myself, oh, did I do this or that particular task? And I can just look back. Or when I'm asked by my manager, for example, or my supervisor, did you send this email, blah, blah, blah. I asked for it on this date. Then I can go back on said date and actually check if I did or if I didn't. So yeah. And finally, for my 100, I will be using these just to track savings. Haha, finances again. So I have a goal set on the top portion. Like for this particular bank, I want to add another 50,000. On this one, I want to add 80,000. On this one, I want to add 30. So I just divide them by 25. So I have 25 days to complete this before the year ends. So no particular date in mind or no particular target except for the end of the year. So I just tick the boxes as I'm able to save up for these funds. I haven't figured out the fourth one yet, but yeah, I'll still think about it. So that's it for this particular planner. So I love my Weeks Mega, and I'm actually at the point where, this is an awfully long video. I'm actually at the point where for 2024, I'm already thinking of what planners to get, and it's just January. I don't know if it's a me thing or if you guys feel the same way. Like, do you guys also do that? Like, we're just starting out the year and you're already thinking in your head, what planners will I get for 2024 or 2025? I don't know. If it's just me, I probably have some sort of illness. But yeah, I'm thinking I really love the Mega, and I will definitely stick to this because I love how versatile it is. I love how I have so many pages on the notes page. I prefer having more than less of what I need. I'd rather use up just 100 of these, but still not feel regretful over the other 100 that I wasn't able to use, rather than buy just a regular, make use of all 70 pages and find that I need more. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, but that's just how I am. So there's never a waste for me if I do get a Mega and not consume all its pages, because I will find something to write about regardless. Okay, so I'll just set these aside. I've done enough talking about them. So now we move on to the take a note, and I do not care, as much as possible, I do not like bringing this, especially to work. I don't often drive. I do have a car. So when I do drive, I feel comfortable bringing it. But more often than not, I ride a motorcycle. My boyfriend drives one, so there's not a lot of space. And the tendency is, if you've noticed, like the paper cover has actually gotten really crinkly. It's taken a lot of damage. Not that it's bad, because the paper is actually really strong. It hasn't ripped. There's no tear. And it still has a nice design. And I bought this from Take a Note as well through Stationery Cafe. You can look for them on Facebook if you're interested. But they usually do just a pre-order for the Take a Note. And usually that's on September, if I remember correctly. So you make the order September, pay for half of it as deposit, and then, pay for half the total cost as deposit. And Anna, the owner of Stationery Cafe, will get back to you around November just to let you know that the planner or your purchases will come in on December. And that's actually not a problem with me. It's entirely different from the system with Hobonichi, but yeah, from the purchasing system. So here, I'm having such trouble talking with my throat being like this. So for the Take a Note, what's going on? So for the first part, we have a 2 habit tracker line per month that's allotted for you by Take a Note. This is a really nice page because there are some people who are not very good with tracking 3 or 5 or more habits at a time and on the daily basis. Yeah, it's kind of, I think those of us like myself who spend a lot of my days either working, taking care of my place because I live alone now. I live in my own condominium. Of course, doing chores like the laundry, steaming clothes, cooking, cleaning, it's all on me. Plus, having to run personal errands like for banks or again bills payments if I have any problems with my bills, if they're charging me far more than what I expected this month, etc. So those take up a lot of my time. So there's really not much time for me to actually keep track of so many habits. So this is perfect, just 2. And so far for January, what I did is a no spending tracker and the Aurora Duty tracker. So the only point of the Aurora Duty is to remind myself that I have to write something today. Why is that? For me, it's not a hassle having to write about my relationship with my partner, because I also want to grow in this relationship. I think keeping track of our December was really great because it set a precedent for me to be more mindful and aware of how I am in the relationship and how we're doing. So I put in even the bad days when we argue, how we fix it, how we've been progressing if we argue, some consecutive days. And it's nice to see a pattern. So it's good for me to keep track whether or not I've been writing. And this, other than keeping track of it, this page actually also reminds me to write when I do forget, because there are days when I get home from work and I'm just so awfully tired. I just want to sleep the rest of the evening off without even eating, without even bathing. Yeah, that's bad. Don't do that. Yeah, but this is nice because I like opening up this book and I like that it serves as a reminder, not just a tracker. Okay. So besides that, I have a list again, and this part was inspired by, if I hadn't already mentioned it, I think you guys are already aware if you've watched my previous video. This was inspired by Aina, Christina. You can check out her YouTube as well. She's great. She's awesome. I love how interactive she is on Instagram, especially when she posts stories about food. I would always ask, where is this? Where is this? Because I am also a foodie. I love to eat out. So on this list are basically just lists of what I will be partaking on or enjoying for this year. So you can see currently watching. These are films that I will watch for the year. As much as possible, I want to keep track of those new films that I watch, because I have a tendency to rewatch lots of old films that are still feel-good films for me, like Shrek, something like that. So as much as possible, I have to list new ones here. Currently eating, I listed 2 restaurants that we ate at just this January, although they're not new. So I'm not entirely sure if I will stick to just the new on this list. Binge watching for series. So a lot of these I watch on Netflix. And once I complete them, I will list something else that I'm currently watching. And basically, it's not a list for what I want to watch. It's a list for what I'm watching. Okay. Currently listening to would be music. And as you can see, I've already listed 2. I've been so obsessed listening to these 2. I'm not sure why. It's Golden Hour by Jake. I've been listening to so many covers and so many of his posts, his reels about, like, with him playing Golden Hour in public, and people are just so amazed and so stunned when they hear the piano of Golden Hour. I also really, really love it. Cuff It by Beyonce as well. It's such a feel-good, fun song. It's fun to dance to. Currently reading None Yet. Why? I don't have time. And I think that's the saddest part. I don't have time. Currently playing would be games. Yeah, just most of these are just mobile games now because I, again, don't have time. I don't have time to read, then I would definitely struggle having time to play. Just a quick list of items that I want to buy. Yeah, but it's not flourishing because I am trying to be disciplined with my spending. So I don't think this is gonna push through. Okay, a few ink swatches of the inks I've already used here, and I think I will continue this if I will use any more. Okay, and this is my monthly spread. I have here, again, my finances on this side, some account numbers I need to keep track of, birthdays, icon stickers to help me remember what days I have to go to work, which days I'm on site, when I will receive my salary, and if I watched films, yeah, the film indicator. So not much to see here. It's actually really bland right now. See, I tried to do a habit tracker, but I'm not sure if I can, you know, actually commit to this one. Yeah, so mainly I will keep up the budget tracker here, or the breakdown of my salary here. So as you can see, it's an exact duplicate of what I have on this baby, like an exact duplicate. And I don't even, I don't like having duplicates, but I feel like in this case it's a necessity. I just have to always be able to keep track of where my money is, what it's for, where it's going, where it should go. Because this year my main resolution is I want to be more strict with my finances, and that's it. So for the daily / weekly part of this, so I've been writing down a lot. This is the ideal visuals for a page, because it's supposed to be for memory keeping. But as you can see, it's been really difficult for me to write about anything, and you know, figuring out that I'm not going to actually be able to write on this every day for this long. I've written down like a Bible verse that I want to reflect on for that particular day. And I've been trying to list down to-dos besides the actual events, some memory keeping, some sticker deco. Yeah, but it's been hard, and I actually wrote that down on this portion, how I've been so confused with how to use this. But I might attempt to use this on the first part as a reminder to read my Bible, and later on in the day for memory keeping, just brief memory keeping. No reflections here as much as possible. I just want to keep track of what happened in chronological order, as they happened, as I saw them, as I remember them. So yeah, that's it for this one. As you can see, it's bland. I also do not design or decorate my pages before I've written on them. Why is that? A lot of people would have these photos of before the pen, wherein they put on their stickers, their washi tapes, they put on all the decorations that they want for a particular page, and then they write. I am not a subscriber of that practice, because I value the content of my planner more than how it looks. Why? Because when I look back on the previous years, I want to be able to read something. I want to be able to see my thoughts when I was at this age, on this particular date, at this particular time, rather than see a bunch of stickers that are pretty, but aren't very useful in showing me a reflection of who I used to be. So yeah, that's just me. And I hope that helps those of you who aren't very decorative on your planners, because it's not a contest of who has the prettier planner. It's really about how you use it and how it benefits you, how it helps you be a more efficient person and an effective person on a daily basis. So that's just my 2 cents, and I hope that helped. So again, there's nothing else on here. You can expect more writings as the days come, as the months go by. And let's face it, I'm still as confused as I was when I started this video, but I do know I'm already settled on how to use my Mega, and partly on how to use my Aurora Duty. I think having used the week's lineup of Hobonichi since 2019 has helped me actually have an easier time figuring out how to use these. But the A5, take a note, is entirely new for me this 2023, so we have a lot of experimenting to do. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Those really help, I don't know, with the algorithm, I guess. I don't know, not a lot of people see my videos. Please let me know if you guys appreciated me actually talking about my planners, because sometimes I do post videos where I don't talk at all. Like I just show you how I use them. But if you'd prefer these videos more, please do let me know in the comment section and what you liked about this video to help me out. So thanks so much, everybody. I hope you enjoy your January 2023. If you have any questions for me, I am also on Instagram. I'll just put my username on the description box because it's a bit lengthy. All right, that's it for today. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.